Please welcome to the show, Mr. Teddy Swims. Yo. Hey, man, I gotta tell you, I've been a fan of yours for such a long time. When you were doing covers on YouTube and when you started doing Steve Perry and Journey, I go, what? This dude can sing. And I was like, well, I'm so glad things happen for you because real talented people deserve to get the love. So,
well, I
props on
appreciate
everything.
it, man. I've been such a fan for you raised me, you know what I mean? So I have nothing but the same to say about you guys.
Thank
really.
you, brother. Thank you.
So growing up in Conyers, though, was this Conyers, Georgia? Was this always the plan?
Yeah, when I first started making music, though, everybody in Atlanta was in hardcore bands in like 2011. So I was always kind of screaming in bands prior to this situation. So, but I always grew up on good tunes. My dad raised me on good soul music and good R&B and rock and country. And I think Georgia's is just a beautiful place for music.
Yeah.
We have the best rock bands from like Widespread Panic to like Ray Charles and it just goes on and on. Usher, we got the best R&B. We got the best hip hop. Outkast. We got everybody over there. So
Yeah.
it's hard not to feel the energy there.
Yeah. The last couple of years must have just been a trip, right? Just like you just got shot out of like a rocket or something with everything that's been happening and all the love that's been pouring in. Was there any particular moments where you're like, dang, I can't believe this?
Dude, I've had some. The latest one for me, David Lee Roth, I think, is like such a on and off stage what a rock star is. I can find an off switch, but that guy just doesn't have one. And so I got to have him up for Coachella too, and he did both weekends and then did stagecoach with us as well. And so
you're like the only guy to do that, by the way.
To do both.
Coachella and stagecoach. Okay.
So, but having him for, I guess he is as well though, because he did.
Well, yeah, technically.
So technically, David Lee Roth is still the man. But he's just such an awesome dude. Like I told me so many crazy stories. He was like a EMT for a couple years and was like,
what?
Yeah, dude.
Is he qualified?
Yeah, he did the whole training and everything. And he was telling me these stories of like holding people's hands while they're taking their last breath and stuff. And he like lived in Japan for a couple years and would just speak fluent Japanese to you.
Wow.
Like this guy's just on side quests. I think it's like him and Snoop Dogg who are up against each other on who does the most side quests.
That's
these days.
funny.
That's
crazy.
cool.
That's funny.
It's crazy.
When did you know Lose Control had hit? When did you know your life was about to change?
I would say like when we wrote that tune, I knew like when that tune was written, I was like, this is like, we got it, this is gonna be life changing. And it was a lot of just like endless, going and doing and saying yes to everything and like, singing it at every karaoke bar to every side of the street. We would see a busker and say, hey, will you sing my song with me? And I would try to make it where like, if your mama's in the kitchen singing it, I'm knocking on the door saying, "Hey, let me sing that with you." You know what I mean? We played it everywhere we could possibly play it until everybody heard it.
Yeah, and I love how the origin of your name too. Teddy being a nickname, and Swim's actually an acronym for someone who is in me sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
How did you come up with that?
I actually found it on a forum. Like, it was like, it was on this forum, and it was like, it was just Swim. It was like, someone who isn't me does this happens, and it's kind of like an asking for a friend thing, and I thought that was really interesting. It was like maybe to just play this character, but I don't really play much of a character.
Well,
though,
I thought it was your real name. So what is your real name?
Jayton Dimsdale.
Jayton Dimsdale.
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
I like that one too.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, it doesn't roll off the tongue
I
as
think
well.
it's good.
Thank you.
What do your friends growing up think about Jayton Dimsdale?
I'm still with them. They're still my band, and we still play together every day. And it's been the most beautiful thing because no matter how much this rocket ship takes off or life changes around us, they'll always humble you. You know what I mean?
Of course,
they'll always pick on you and keep you little. So
exactly.
I love those boys more than anything.
You've gotten to collab with a lot of great names out there. Who have you collabed with that surprised you the most?
I think the list goes on. I think I will maybe always say like Thomas Rhett is just like he's such a hero of mine, and it's done so much for me as far as being a father now and also being in this kind of thing. He's taught me so much about the balance of that and being present. And it said something to me one time that's always stuck with me. He said, doesn't matter what's going on. They just want to see your eyes when you talk to them, And I love Thomas Rhett more than anything in the world. That's
I
my
love
dog.
that. You got good eye contact. Well, let's take a look at you where you performed Ordinary People with John
Yes, man.
Legend.
Wow.
What a moment. Watch this.
'Cause we're ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow.
Wow.
Take it slow.
Goodness.
Oh. This time we'll take it slow. Take it slow. This time we'll take it slow.
Hey.
Dude.
How did that moment come about?
Well, I did it one day at like a pop-up event. We were in London with my pal Victor Ray, and John heard it and was like, "Hey man, you know, way to go!" And I'd met him before on The Voice. We did a guest performance there, and had so we kind of stayed in touch, and I'd see him in places and whatnot, and I finally asked him, like, would you come out and do the song with me, and he was so gracious and wanted to come out. And what a superstar, man. He walked in with all his folks with his sunglasses on, and he's like, it's so cool to see like somebody at that high level for so long. He's got like, with his piano, it's got to be like the perfect like degree on stage, so that way it's like shows his best side, but it's easy for him to turn. He's got he's so dialed in, man. He's so dialed in, man. He's like a perfectionist to a T, and such a that's it doesn't get better than anybody
your
ever.
voices together.
Well,
right
that means a lot to hear.
Magic.
It was terrifying to do that in front of him. It was just terrifying.
Well, we saw this billboard that went up. And talk about your reaction. What is going on here?
Oh, so the billboard was. Yeah, it was kind of a joke, but the billboard, you get those billboards and it says, "This fat F will make you lose control," and I'm kind of in the picture doing this number. It looks like so poorly done.
Funny.
And so the whole bit was I was going out like, who cleared this? Like I'm really upset about it, because we had an opportunity to do one on the way out of Coachella, on the way back with like announcing our tour, and so I poorly photoshopped my head on like a strong guy's body in a Speedo, and I was like, now this totally accurately represents my real physique a whole lot better, So it was a kind of just poking fun at myself.
Fantastic.
How'd you celebrate New Artist of the Year at last year's Grammys?
That's a big one.
Man, thank you. Man, I called my dad, and and dude, he's my hero, man. I had them all come out for first year I was at the Grammys, and my brother and my mom and stuff, just the whole family out there, and we had a responsible amount of tequilas.
There
That's
you go.
well done.
There you go. That's the
how
way to
you
do
celebrate.
it. As you should.
Yeah.
As you should, Teddy.
Well, stick around, everybody. Much more with Teddy, including when we can expect a new album. And I think we're going to count your tattoos coming up next. And we're back with Teddy Swims in our studio.
Hey. Do people want to come up? What's been the wildest fan interaction you've had?
I had a really bad, I've had so many good ones, of course, so many good ones, but I think the worst one, and it still hits me to this day. So I was at the airport one day, and this guy comes up to me, and I think it's weird, because I think men sometimes feel like emasculated to say they like something, you know what I mean? So he just came up to me and he goes, "Hey man, my foreman, she's a sweet older lady. She really loves your stuff, but I don't F with your stuff at all, though. Like, I listen to, like, Chief Keef and, like, Kendrick Lamar. Like, I'm a hip-hop guy, so, I really don't like you, no offense. But can we take a picture for her?" And I was like, I guess.
That's funny.
Oh, you say no.
That's funny.
You could have just said,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
"She likes you. Would I take a picture for her?" You don't have to go out of your way to be such a
By the way,
man
he didn't even
about
have a
stuff.
wife.
It's
That
like,
was strictly for
funny.
him.
Yeah,
I know.
like-
100%. That's so funny.
I don't know why men feel so tough about
I know,
it. Like,
I
it's
know.
like gross, man. Just
That's
say you
funny.
like my tunes, or
Yeah.
don't. I don't care.
Tell us about your new song, Mr. Know-It-All. First of all, talk about the title.
Thanks. Well,
It's about that guy.
So Mr. Know-It-All, I was kind of like super into this idea of the prophet's dilemma. It's like Steve Merton's bit, and you know, there's a self-fulfilling prophecy and a self-defeating prophecy, right? And the whole bit is that like a self-fulfilling prophecy is kind of you see a fixed future ahead of you, like maybe something bad coming, and you do everything in your power to stop it, and that maybe is why this thing happens. And a defeating prophecy is on the other side. You see this thing coming and you don't really do anything, and that's why it happens. And so I was obsessed with this idea that I think I've played both sides of the role in love in my life and in relationships, you know, that I've maybe tried too hard to protect something from falling apart that was the reason it did, and maybe I just never quite gave myself to it because of fear that it was going to fall apart. And you know, it had me thinking, like, is there really a fixed future on things? Is there really the one that you're supposed to be with? And or do you force it for the person you love?
Man,
you
that's
know?
deep, Teddy.
Yeah, it's just
I
a little
like
heady.
this
but,
side of
yeah.
you. No,
I was like,
I
dang.
love
And
this.
would you say the sound is a little different, or is it kind of
Yeah,
staying
well,
in the
with
same?
that particular song in general, and there's a few of them, I've been like super into, like, you know, Sting and Phil Collins and stuff, and just digging
Okay.
back in
Take me
those
back to
worlds,
the
you know.
80s.
So I've been really into that lately. So there's some records that are kind of leaning that direction. But
What's up with the album? When's the album coming?
well, we're hoping right now. It's further along than we thought it was, which is great. But I'm hoping January. But you know,
Okay.
I might panic and you know, I don't know. I'm so close to everything that it's like you know, like here.
Yeah.
I like
Please
how
say
your
I'm good.
mind works. You're such a thinker about everything. So
Way
I-
too much. Yeah.
No, I think that's where all the good words come out. And in your real life, you're a father, about to
Yeah.
celebrate Father's Day.
Yeah.
Tell us about your little guy.
Well, you know, speaking of Father's Day, he was due last
Oh my
year.
goodness.
Oh,
Oh, his cheeks.
God, he's gotten so much bigger. That's so crazy to see that video of him.
Oh my goodness.
That's the best, huh?
Dude, man, speaking of Father's Day, he was due last year on the 15th on Father's Day, and then of course he made it all about him and waited a week to show up on the 23rd. So, but I'm happy to have a first.
Did you
Father's Day with him.
always want to be a dad?
Yeah, you know, I have the best father in the whole world, man. You know, so it's something to, you know, just copy and paste and ask him for anything. I lean on him for a lot of things, and
That's
he's my
awesome.
first call for everything ever, anything going on, you know,
Yo.
good or bad.
I love your son's name. You named him Rambo?
Yeah, Rambo.
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm an even bigger fan now. Are you a big Stallone? Because I love me some
man,
John J. Rambo.
Dude, I love him so much, and you know, so my girl is such a, like, you know, absolute goddess that she like had this baby, like, you know, naturally birthed in
Wow.
our house, right? And so we were gonna name him originally Kerbo after my mother's maiden name, and then, you know, they got into some beef like mothers and they do, and then she was like,
Scratch that.
I'm not naming him that, you know. So we went a week without a name, and I was like, what about Rambo, you know? And so we had him, and we watched First Blood together, and
Awesome,
you know,
awesome movie.
Yeah, dude, and she started crying at the end monologue, you know, and she was like, okay, I love it. Let's do it. You know, I was like,
Dude,
yes,
with Troutman,
yeah.
that's the best. Dude, Rambo, baby Rambo's awesome.
We might have to bring back Kerbo, though. I like the
Yeah, I
maiden
do
name, too. It's
I
really
do,
good.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe the next one.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got it. They
there
got
we
it.
go.
raised up.
Maybe my next baby mother will let me do
And
it.
you called him Baby Bucky before he
Yeah,
even came
yeah.
out. How did that come about?
Well, when we were doing Austin City Limits, and when we found out,
in Texas, Buc-ee's?
yeah, when we found out she was pregnant, she had never been to a Buc-ee's, so we stopped by Buc-ee's. We got these onesies. We did the whole thing.
Buc-ee's is awesome.
Yeah,
got
yeah, it's
everything.
my favorite place in the
the best.
world, man. So we were both in our onesies when we found out she was pregnant, like these whole beaver onesies, and I was like, well, we'll just name him Bucky.
Bucky.
That's funny.
She said, absolutely not. But
That's
This is
funny.
so
No,
good.
Rambo is my new favorite baby name ever.
Thank
Rambo
you,
is the
man.
best.
Bring it.
Hey, real quick, tell me about the Ugly Tour. And what's up with the title?
Well, you know, the whole bit is this kind of this, you know, kind of never taking itself too seriously, and also I'm trying to get more into, like, I guess my relationship with saying, like, being a little self-deprecating and you know, and loving myself, but also being man enough to self-deprecate and, you know, love those things about myself, and that I think makes things special, and it never
That's
takes
a
itself
winning
too
combo.
yeah, it
There
never
you
takes
go.
things too seriously, and so I thought the Ugly was kind of a cool title, and our first arena run in North America too.
Nice.
With that, so
Kicks off in
Nice.
September. the
yeah, we'll
tour.
be at the Forum a couple nights, I think. so-
Okay, so you'll be right here. Congratulations on that.
And you mentioned your dad. We see you getting a tattoo here on your bust. Is this your dad giving you a tattoo?
Yeah, he was. We decided to do a moving tattoo. Here,
Whoa.
you could probably see it out.
Wait, is he a tattoo artist?
No,
Teddy?
no, he's
no,
never
not?
done one in his life.
Oh
but
my
we-
God.
Wait, I see DA.
Yeah,
the
DAD. It didn't really stay in there, and
The last D didn't really hit.
and we did
Dang.
yee ha 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 for. I was all the way to Stagecoach, and my sweet friend Lauren Windsor was in there, and I was like, we
Dang.
gotta, on that show Jackass, they did like the moving tattoo.
Yes,
forever
that
ago. I
was
saw
crazy.
Steve-O do it. So
I
I, was
remember
like,
that.
okay, we gotta do this one day. I gotta have one of those.
That
so.
fool did a crazy big one on his back,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
That was
he's-
crazy.
he's
Hey, let me ask you something.
machine.
Between you, Jelly Roll, and Post Malone, who got more tattoos?
I think I got him. I'm
You
pretty
got
sure.
'em?
I got him. I'm everywhere, man. I've got him.
Those fools are everywhere,
Look
too.
at your
but yeah, you
eyelids.
can't-
Close your eyelids. Look at this.
Yeah.
Tough love.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got him 100%.
Where does it say
beat.
Rambo? Do you have Rambo yet?
Yeah, I have him here and on my side, his little footprint. It says Rambo Rose.
Dang, that's great. Hey, thank you so much for coming,
Thanks,
brother.
Ted. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations
Go
on everything. Teddy's new single, Mr. Know-It-All, is out now. Check it out. We'll be right back.
So fun.